Welcome, welcome, welcome. Terrestrial Thursday, August 18th edition. We've got a big show for you today. Our most amount of guests ever, and some really great news for Star Wolvez that we are very excited to share. We try and just work on getting everybody up on stage with me as we let the pack and all of the other communities that we've invited into this space kind of get situated, join. We've got Zach up on stage with me right now. Welcome.
Doing
Great, man. How are you today?
It's actually quite late where I am, but I'm joining just to vibe with you guys, obviously.
Love it. Yeah, well, I appreciate that. What I take it you are maybe in the
Europe.
Australia
No,
or
no,
New Zealand?
Europe. I'm in Europe.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I start work quite early, around 5-ish, so it's just been a long day for me. Let's make it fun, huh?
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I got you. Like 10 p.m. is definitely around my bedtime myself, so I feel you. But I appreciate you staying up late with us today.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. Let's get it going.
Yeah, man. Okay, I've got Ice from Satoshi Runners up here. Looks like Slide joined us from Wulfz, and we will have one more, I believe, running a little bit late. Ice, how are you today?
I'm good, brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I gave you the incredible responsibility of being a co-host here because we do get a cap of how many speakers we can have, and you do need more co-hosts up here. So I'm placing a lot of trust in you right now, man.
Oh boy, the pressure is on, and we haven't even started yet.
Don't let me down. No,
I'll do
it's
my
all good.
best.
Slide, what's happening?
What's happening, man? How are you?
I'm doing really well.
Can you hear me all
Pleasure
right?
to finally get to. You sound great. Yeah, you are A-okay. I'm very excited to get to talk
Perfect.
with you guys. What is this little chat
Yeah, I'm
button
excited to
here?
learn
Oh,
more
there's
about you
tweets.
guys.
Yeah, for sure.
I
And
think
that's
if
what
you
this space
see
is
like
all about, right?
someone replies.
Yeah, I think it's to the tweet now. Twitter Space is always changing, and I can't keep up with it. All right, let me just check my notes and see if we have one or two more people looking to join us. Yeah, I think we're waiting for Locke and someone else. I'm not used to having this many guests up here. This is great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, while we're, you know what, we don't have to wait for anybody here. We can just start firing it up, and we'll get the party started. And as more of our guests file in and more people file in, we can just welcome them with open arms. But yes, it is Terrestrial Thursday. This is the Star Wolvez held P2E type space, and we are doing it big this week because we have some really great news coming out of Star Wolvez. One of the main ethos, one of the core focuses we've had in Star Wolvez while we've been building our game is the idea of interoperability. Now, that often gets used as a buzzword. Of course, it's a very Web3 type world. Oh, interoperability is great and whatnot, but ever since we started this, we've had a huge affinity for pixel art projects, and we really envisioned this kind of cohesive universe in which we could welcome many other different types of pixel art projects into it, have them be able to interact with each other, build them into the lore potentially, and really just create options for other holders of other NFT projects to potentially come into our Star Wolvez universe and start to interact with us and engage cross community. Because I think as we're experiencing right now with the the depression in the market, the lack of volume, there's obviously some really great communities and really great projects and founders and teams out there that are still building, but it really does necessitate this need to kind of work together, to kind of band together, to continue some excitement in the space, continue to network, make new friends, and really shine light on these other great projects that you guys up here have been working on for just as long as we've been building too. And that's why I'm really excited to have you all up here. So for the time being, and I'll introduce more people as they arrive, but we have Ice, of course, of Satoshi Runners. We had him on a Terrestrial Thursday not so long ago, and it was a great chat. Ice, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, R2. How are you doing, my man?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. I've been looking forward to this conversation. One of the first spaces I actually kind of felt nervous for a while. Normally, I just hit the go live button and it comes easy. But I was like, man, I've got all these really great people up here, and I got to keep the ball rolling. So no, things are great. I'm
You're
gonna
too humble, man. You're a fantastic host.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm going to go on to slide and I'll let you introduce yourself and just give me, the 2-minute rundown on Wulfz and the project that you have going on there, what the vibes are these days, and what you guys have been up to.
Yeah, for sure. So Wolves has been around kind of similar length, I'd say, to Star Wolvez. We kind of launched last December. We've been working on a lot of utility since then. And everyone right now is kind of going through this down market. And I think, like you said, we're trying to find interesting ways to work with other partner projects like you guys. And right now we're kind of preparing for a free mint to kind of, work with other communities, tying into some lore with it. So basically, you got the wolves and the pups, which was like the breeding kind of thing. And now they're going to fight for this free mint versus the werewolves. So we're kind of moving towards into that phase. And we got a lot of exciting stuff and glad to work with everyone here going towards that stuff. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. And I actually remember when you guys kind of came onto the scene too. It was like, almost this like, ooh, the competitor kind of had arrived. But like, as time goes on and, we were both doing our own great things, it seems only natural that we start talking and start building a great relationship. And we've always been really impressed with what you guys accomplished over there, of course, too.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think that's the thing with the space, like when projects are coming out, we're looking towards the other projects, like, oh, because like with your project, I was like, damn, like you guys have some really interesting, lore you guys are doing, especially when like I popped in the Discord. I'm like, this is cool. So we're trying to like improve on that, especially with like our next collection. So yeah, you guys definitely inspired our community in that way. So it's always good to like, see what other people are doing and just learn and, everyone keep growing in Web3.
Yeah, of course. And you know what? I mean, you start to shed that like competitive nature too. Like a little bit of competitiveness is always good, but I mean, when you start to talk about things like interoperable and whatnot, it really is more about like a coming together and just, continuing that narrative with each other and bringing those communities together to be able to participate with one another. Because at the end of the day, like I am just such a firm believer that a rising tide does lift all ships. And it's great to have you up here. So I appreciate you taking the time to do it. Also going to move on to Zach. Zach, welcome to the stage of
What's
Pixel
up, dude?
Tigers.
Thanks for
What's
having
going
me.
on? Coming live
Appreciate
from
it.
across the pond, and it's quite late over there, but we appreciate you staying up past your bedtime and joining us today.
Absolutely, man.
Take 2 minutes and toot your own horn, introduce yourself and your project, and let us know what's up.
Yeah, absolutely. Zach Lewis. I'm a cybersecurity researcher in real life, and I'm a member of council at Pixel Tigers. You probably wouldn't know this, some of you may know, but Pixel Tiger is a community-run project, so everybody kind of hops in and works on the tasks. And it's been a ride, it's been a journey. We learned a lot. Really good experience, and we're continuing to build. We've got the Mint Phase 2 coming up with new designs. We just finished developing on Node, which is which was a big thing for us because we built it from scratch. And hopefully we'll be able to partner up with some of you guys moving forward. So it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk to you. Now, I just got to ask, when you say it's a community-run project, is that the dirty R word? Is that kind of like a project that was left for the community?
Well, the founders have stepped down, and 5 members were picked to run the project, and everything is kind of broken down to tasks. We use a Trello board, and everybody picks up whatever they can. Somebody works on content, somebody builds a node, somebody develops the front end, somebody gets a collab. It comes from every angle. Quite friendly community. It feels like a family because there is nobody really at the top, and even the council. I mean, we are community members. End of the day, um, so it's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
I've,
at the
I've
end of the
never I've never been part of something like this before, and it really does feel like a family. So it's good. I'm enjoying it.
I always find it incredible when people, just out of love for a community or of art or whatnot, just kind of step up to the plate and really take on the big task of, kind of shepherding a community. As you said, there's no one really exactly running it or at the head of it, but it's this consensus kind of decision making that really drives things forward. And there are just some absolutely incredible community-led projects out there, and I really do think it actually is such a strong point once you can kind of get your foothold, regain control of it, and just kind of move forward. So kudos to you and for being a part of that. That's incredible.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's the initial part of it that's quite challenging, but once you get your foothold, like you said, once you build that foundation, it kind of starts moving. Um, in my opinion, community run projects move slowly, but they do move. If it's run correctly, it does move up. Anyway, I'm gonna hand over to you. By the way, you're a fantastic host, so I've got to give it to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. You guys are being way too nice to me today. I'm gonna start blushing up here or whatnot, but thank you so much for the kind words. Yeah, of course, we've gathered you guys today here, and invited the community of these projects. We also have Artificial Intelligence Club. Hopefully, Locke will be able to make it, but he has been very busy IRL right now. And the other project in there was that he is running late is the Mooncats, of course. So, you know, we talked about interoperability. We talked about, allowing other projects to partake in the Star Wolvez game. And the time has come that we really are starting to look towards doing that. So, really excited to announce that our first cohort of NFT projects that will be usable in game for Star Wolvez will, of course, be Satoshi Runners, Pixel Tigers, Mooncats, Wulfz, and Artificial Intelligence Club. And this is, the first stage of us really trying to flesh out that whole universe that we're trying to build, right? We've had the Genesis Wolves mint back in early 2022. Then, of course, the Generative Wolves minting in April. And since then, we've been building a game in which we think that, we want everybody to be really proud of, really excited for. Not too long ago, we had the launch of our PvP, right? So people could put their best 3 wolves up to the battle against another pack, duke it out, heavy attack, light attack, defend, just a text-based sort of game. But, at its core, Stardust is up for grab, and Stardust is going to be our native onboard token that we will be using to power the Star Wolvez universe. But we didn't want to stop there. One of the big things that we always talk about in these P2E discussions that we have on Terrestrial Thursdays all the time is, how do you reach a greater appeal, a broad, masses? How do you gain lots of attention and create a big social experience? Because at the end of the day, games now more than ever are social experiences. When you have, maybe a 10K PFP project, an 8K PFP project, many of those people hold multiples for it. It's, it can be really hard to kind of gain and keep attention. And I think the answer to this for almost all P2E games is not just specific to Star Wolvez, is that you have to be able to allow a broader audience to participate in. So of all of those projects that I just listed, you will now be able to log into game.starwolves.com and log into the Star Wolvez dashboard and be able to load your NFTs in. Now, it's really important to note, and I want anybody that's not familiar with Star Wolvez to know, you do not have to stake your NFTs into a contract. You just have to hold them into your wallet. We've built it so that we do proper checks. It checks it every day to make sure that you're still holding those NFTs and whatnot, and it will adjust if you buy more or you sell or you add different projects in there. But you will be able to load them into your crew regardless of whether or not you have a Star Wolf. Log in and start being able to play the PvP battles against some of the wolves. Now, there is a bit of a hierarchy here. The wolves are, the most powerful kind of beings in our universe, but we are constantly balancing the gameplay. So, if you have 3 wolves, or if you have a Satoshi runner, a wolf, and a mooncat, or the pixel tigers, you'll be able to mix and match those and start battling it out, and you will be rewarded in Stardust. And this is it's incredibly exciting for us to be able to welcome these new projects into our community without taking control of those NFTs, right? Like, staking was such a big, important thing for a while, committing it to a contract, but really, at the end of the day, it was just, a way of kind of locking up supply, making people commit something to a contract so that they couldn't sell and whatnot. And that's great. It definitely serves its own function. But we don't want anybody to feel that friction of, having an NFT that they've had in their wallet that doesn't even belong to the project that they're trying to operate with, and feeling like they need to stake it. So that's kind of the principles that we've been building on. And I'm really excited to welcome you guys in. Have you guys posted this to your community in the Discords or anything yet? Has there been any feedback that you've been hearing? Ice, I know
Yes.
you've been talking to your community.
That's right. Yeah. Well, we actually just announced the fact that we have the partnership going up, and we will be able to use Satoshi Runner NFTs as part of the Star Wolvez PTE game. And I think that PvP element is really exciting for us, especially us gamers. Like, at the core of gamers, we like building team comps, right? We like having a variety of different stats, different artworks, and different things to pack into a team. So the fact that you were talking about just now, how there's a hierarchy, there's Star Wolvez, they're the most tanky, or they have the most stats here, and maybe like Satoshi runners can have maybe they're glass cannons, they can be really high in DPS, but not as tanky. The fact that we're able to interchangeably create teams to form these team comps, I think that is truly beautiful, because now all of a sudden we're really hitting that interoperability. We're combining different communities, different NFTs to come into this game, and I think that is really the heart and soul of PTE interoperability, right? I think 2 weeks ago we spoke about this on Terrestrial Thursdays as well. How like big ticket games like Blizzard or World of Warcraft, like they have hundreds of thousands of players, but for us it's really difficult to achieve those same numbers. So what is the solution? Being able to have interoperability amongst different community projects such that all of us can play the same game, I think that is an amazing way to go about it. And I think one of the things that really separates us from like Solana, for example, I think a bunch of alpha callers were talking about this a couple of months ago, was that Solana kind of gives off this vibe as even though there's different NFT projects, they all kind of band together, and it kind of feels like they're all on the same side. You know what I mean? They kind of represent the same family, if you would. But Ethereum, for whatever reason, we haven't really hit that family bonding feeling. So it's strange and funny at the same time how NFT projects kind of get singled out, and yet PTE has brought us together in this space in a time where it matters most.
Yeah, that's so well said. And you're right about having the different NFTs, having the different projects all kind of coalesce and come together. There's so much potential to build in, them having different functionality in the game too. And for those of you that haven't been in Star Wolvez, like the PvP part of it is just the first step that we have, of course, building that Clash of Clans style game in which you're going to be building your home base up, you're going to be upgrading machines, and we are going to have partner project specific machines built in there. So if you are the holder of an artificial intelligence club and that is in your wallet, you will have access to a specific machine that will give you better boosts, or perform a specific function, or maybe open up a different set of missions. We are constantly theory crafting and devising ways that we can not only provide value to Star Wolvez and the Star Wolvez holders, but really incorporate and be inclusive of all of these other projects that we're just so fond of, and that are, more importantly, just continuing to build and continuing to be active themselves, as I just think that that's so important. I want to welcome Locke up to the stage from Artificial Intelligence Club. Glad that you could make it up here with us. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. Thanks for the introduction there. I apologize for being late. I seen the message. I swear it said 7 p.m. EST, but then I just looked when you messaged me and it said 4. So I'm doing this space from a parking lot in my car. So it might sound horrible.
That's okay, man. That's what Web3 is all about, right? It's just everyone everywhere just doing things. Like one person will be sitting on a beach, one person it'll be 3 a.m, like, they snuck out to the living room to do a space. I have done that before. And it's all good, but I do appreciate you jumping in here with us and having the conversation. Slide, I want to just kind of hit you up with your P2E experiences. Doesn't even have to be Star Wolvez specific and whatnot, but what's your general feeling and sentiment towards where we are in Web3 gaming, and what your kind of general outlook is on this kind of space and where it can go in the future?
Yeah, so for me, what we were kind of building towards for a while, and it's kind of in a weird spot right now, is Sandbox. That's kind of the biggest one, especially from an outsider perspective. If they're not into NFTs, that's they've got a ton of funding and stuff, but it's not very accessible right now. So I've done some World Wide Web, and that was really exciting, just events there. Other than that, I wouldn't say I've got involved in any really P2E games, playing myself. Yeah, going back to what Ice was saying, I really liked how he was talking about Solana and how they all, become comrades together. And, looking from the outside in, it really does feel like their communities are more connected. And Ethereum is just maybe because it's bigger or something, people don't want to combine and, work on things together. But I think that's really what we need right now, especially during this kind of downtime.
Yeah, I thought that was a great point too, and it's kind of I guess I would kind of liken Solana right now to the Bored Apes when they started, right? There was almost this collective big big boss or big monster, big enemy that was CryptoPunks, right? And they were the small upstart that's really trying to take it down. And the Bored Apes really did band together as a community as kind of their first step into mainstream adoption, with that collective goal in mind of being their own Bored Apes. And I really do get those vibes from Solana too, where ETH is just this big behemoth, and they have just this small dedicated upstart that's obviously gaining quite a bit in size and doing that too. But yeah, there is 100% a need to kind of recombine forces in this space and just kind of realign too, right? Because for so many times it was a competition, it was this against that, and this person's going to flip that person. But propelling the space forward is all about coming together and showing, really more importantly, the outside world that not all NFTs are scams, not all P2E is a pump and dump, right? That there's real promise and real use case in the underlying technology. And that's going to be a community effort, whether it's just pixel art projects or whether it's the cute PFPs that are kind of doing the same thing in other places, or, music NFTs banding together. It really is going to take an entire, community, an entire town to get that out there. And I thought that was so well said by Ice. Zach, I want to shift on to you. What's your if any, kind of P2E experience been so far, and what was your reaction to it, and how do you see that kind of space evolving over time?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of experience, I got very little experience with P2E, especially when it comes to Web3 perspective. Believe it or not, having gamed for absolutely ages. It's been multiple years now. So as far as gaming goes, I'm not up to date. But what I think about it, that's interesting. I think where NFT P2E gaming or any NFT gaming is where Atari or Sega or SNES was at the time, and I think it's in that sort of stage and it's still growing. So we are early stages. We are the pioneers, give or take. It's almost like 5% of the journey. Not even that. So yeah,
Yeah,
early stages.
I completely agree with you, and I often think of like the current development curve of like I'm just gonna call it Web3 gaming is really just like in that like almost pre-Nintendo era too, right? Where it was like the seed was planted, the
Absolutely,
idea
yeah.
that gaming could be a thing is coming, and for people that are looking forward, they see the potential of it. They're really bullish on it, but that's a very small group of people. But as we saw in traditional gaming, that ball, started rolling from, I don't like using the word, but like maybe a couple of perceived nerds just playing Pong or text-based games into, Super Nintendo, and people now it was more mainstream accepted that you had this video game console, but still not a lot of people in the grand scheme of things did it. And that
Yeah.
snowball just kept rolling down the hill and sucking people in. And now it's just like, if you're under the age of, let's say 20, it's like everybody plays games, male, female, like everybody is just involved in that ecosystem, and it's just turned into an absolute behemoth. And I do think that there's going to be this merge, but like to your point of being a lifelong gamer but not really getting into like Web3 gaming, I think the biggest underlying part of that is that Web3 gaming so far, there's been a couple of instances that have pulled it off, but it hasn't actually been really that fun, right? And I think
No.
once the fun starts to kick in, once the real like I like gaming and this is a good game starts to kick in, you will really see a quick merge of the two as gamers that have a certain expectation of what games should be, not only the play style or the quality of it, but the social experience of it. They'll start to really catch wind of what Web3 is and why it's important for them in terms of ownership and provenance and all of that stuff. So I love having the conversation with people of all levels of experience in it too.
Yeah, absolutely. And recently, I think there's some rumors that GTA's next edition is going to be somehow integrated, or maybe partially integrated with blockchain. So there is definitely hope, and it's definitely moving towards that angle.
Yeah, and GTA is a really interesting for instance too, because they're almost so big that, despite the negative narrative for traditional gamers, that, aren't really participating in crypto or NFTs, they see this as like just a waste of time or not necessary and whatnot. And, there's some valid points in that in a way too. GTA is just like it's too big to ignore. I don't think I know anybody that would boycott GTA because they use the word NFT or have some kind of crypto integration. I could see if they made it mandatory to play the game, that might be a different narrative, but there's no way that they'll do that. But yeah, I just don't see anybody being like, "Oh, I've been waiting for this game for 13 years and now I'm not going to play it because they said NFT." Like it's just not going to happen. And
Yeah, it
that
would
could
be interesting to see how he plays out, to be honest.
Yeah, they're one of the few brands that I think just like there's, they can do it and they can say it and it doesn't matter what the backlash is towards it. People will just accept it and be like, all right, well, I need to play this game, so let's see, right? So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up though. It's one of the things that I've been following really closely, and I'm actually just incredibly excited for even just for a pure exposure kind of event. Locke pulled over in his car. How you doing today? Things are good. Sorry, I already asked you that question, but
Yeah, you did.
yeah, there's so many people up on stage. I love it. But yeah, let's get your kind of talk on P2E as well, because I've never had the pleasure of speaking with you, although our circles are very close.
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely close. My take on it is that it's just very early. I mean, it makes sense in the long term to be like a mainstream adoption because, like you said, a lot of people are gamers. I mean, I'm a gamer myself, and there's no like prize at the end of the tunnel. At least with blockchain and NFTs, like if you're playing a game, you can earn something.
whether it be little or small. It's still there's a monetary gain there. That's just kind of how I look at it. And then with your guys' game, you guys are making like a Clash of Clans kind of style, addictive, like mobile type game, which I think is really cool. And there's not many games out there that are addictive in the blockchain space. So I think once that becomes like the main focal point, I think it'll start doing really well.
Yeah, for sure. And again, like, one of the big focuses that I think a lot of games need to be kind of shifting towards, and I think EtherOrcs is doing it really well, is like building out more of a robust economy that isn't reliant just on one kind of token that people are using. And that's kind of, how we kind of see building out this Clash of Clans style game, is that there's going to be a lot of different options. There's going to be a lot of different play styles. And the encouragement is going to be really keeping the Stardust token within our ecosystem, rather than just the easy option of like earn token, put it into Sushi Swap, extract ETH, right? And then the other thing is just kind of really redefining that narrative of one, is the game fun to play? Is it addictive? Do you want to log in every day and check it out? And two, is there some kind of social narrative around it, right? Like, do people want to come in to the Discord, or however they're interacting with each other, and brag about what they did, show off, what they've accomplished, or, in the case of PvP is, did someone hand an absolute smackdown to somebody else? And we see a lot of that too. And that's just, it's so exciting to me when people are actually talking about the game, not talking about, I earned this much.
Right. Yeah, I would definitely agree with you there.
For sure. So I do want to just get to a couple of things in regards to Star Wolvez, the game, and letting you guys in and playing. As I mentioned before, you would normally have to have a Star Wolf to enter the game, enter the dashboard. That will no longer be the case. So I'm really hoping to see a lot of the Wolves, the Satoshi runners, the Artificial Intelligence Club, the Mooncats, and the Pixel Tigers all in there, logging in, setting their team. To play the PvP battles, you will have to do Stardust, but there's going to be objectives in the dashboard that have been accessible to Star Wolves for quite some time, and it will allow you to earn some of the resources out well to get started. And all of those objectives will be available for you to participate in. Some of them are as simple as just, logging in and following us on Twitter, or maybe going to check out one of our YouTube videos and whatnot. But we're going to be continually providing ways that you can come in and play. Now, of course, with the Star Wolvez NFTs, you'll have access to the soft staking mechanics, which is opening the chests and whatnot. And then once the token is fully on chain, which we are working quickly towards, the Star Wolvez NFTs will have the passive Stardust earning of 5 per day for the generative collection. But again, we're looking at as many ways as possible, as including all of the other projects that we're incorporating in to play with their own NFTs. If you pick up a couple of Star Wolves on the way, that's fantastic. But as Ice kind of alluded to too, like, we're going to be looking at ways to give an advantage to owning a Wulfz, to owning a Mooncats, and encouraging our player base to go check out these other communities as well. There's been a ton of other great stuff going on in Star Wolvez. Ice and Charlie have been talking a lot about how to combine the communities and really get them interacting with one another. And of course, they were kind enough to welcome us into their alpha community over there for holding at least 5 generative wolves. So that's been incredible, and we're really excited to see the fruits of that partnership continue to run with. But even just in our own Discord for the Wolves holders, I mean, I think we gave out something like 500 allow list spots over the last week. Now, of course, this is an interesting market, and it's always a do your own research kind of space, and it always has been. But especially with the free mints, that's a great opportunity to have access to some of these. But always keep an eye out on what you're participating in and what you're minting for. But that's it's just it's great to see all of the movement that's been happening up here. Ice, has any of the Wolves community got in there yet?
Yes, they have. And honestly, I was surprised. So I ran a poll before the partnership officially happened, just to kind of gauge like how many Satoshi Runner holders are also Star Wolvez holders. And to my surprise, at first it was like 5, and then 10, and then 15, and then like 25. People just like started appearing. People started to change their PFP to Wolves and entering our Discord. It's like and they started howling in chat. That was a really exciting moment for everyone. And I think the Wolves are happy to be here, and I think the Satoshi Runners family are very excited to have the Wolves join our family. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's so many good things that are coming up. I was also like just brainstorming a little bit earlier, but I'll just pull the trigger on it. I also wanted to give the opportunity for some of these partnership communities to come into the Star Wolvez Discord. And if you come in and show us your crew that you've put together using projects that aren't Star Wolvez, take a screenshot of that, jump in some PvP battles, show us that you've been playing, and maybe we'll start doing some fun giveaways in regards to that in the Star Wolvez Discord, because I really just want to see how many of these other community members hop in here, start having fun. The pack is just like incredibly engaging and incredibly welcoming to new members, and it's just been a great spot for new people to come in and just start chatting and showing off their wolves. But even just before this space, and when we were testing, making sure the functionality of having these other NFTs in the game were working properly, I was seeing screenshots of the team showing their other their NFTs in the crew, and I gotta say, I just felt this like overwhelming sense of excitement. Really see that this is where we're at now, and that we're going to be continuing to build on this. I do want to, as we start to wind down the space, normally we go for about an hour, but I do want to give each one of you the opportunity to kind of talk about your project, what the next few weeks or a few months look like, and give yourself an opportunity to talk about the community, what you've got going on. If I was going to go into the Pixel Tigers Discord, like, what am I looking for? Who am I saying hi to? What are the vibes? Zach, do you want to talk about that first? Like, what's the next little bit look for like for Pixel Tigers?
Well, we kind of booked stuff what we actually planned out. It's just we haven't announced it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of sitting with the marketing team that's dealing with the nitty-gritty stuff, and then they're gonna get it out. But what probably is gonna come is next for us is the partnerships. So we're gonna start partnering with different projects in different ways and kind of bringing awareness. We also have new legendaries and unique being designed for Phase Min 2. So that's pretty exciting, and that's coming up. I'm sure I'm gonna send some whitelists to your communities. So that's in the bag. We've also completed our game. I'm not sure if you had a chance to play it. It's got the Super Mario vibe. I can't pass 600, so I'm sure everybody else can beat me. But yeah, that's also completed. It's token gated and ready. Currently public in play it. You just have to, connect your MetaMask. It doesn't have to have any ETH in it. You can use a bin if you don't, fancy using your main wallet. And just give it a shot. There'll be a championship coming up, which is going to be against that for the jungle run, and there'll be prizes, obviously. So everybody gets a chance to actually enter, and you don't need to hold a cub in order to play. But once this duration is finished, once the championship is finished, you do need to have a cub to play the game, and the game will be further developed onto a mobile platform because currently it's only web-based. And we've got really nice plans for what we're going to do with the game in terms of levels and power-ups, different features. So each cup would have their own kind of special power, like you mentioned with your PvP game. So yeah, there is actually a lot going on in the background. Everybody's up to something. People tend to get involved in things they are interested in. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
love
what's
it.
happening with Pixel Tigers.
It sounds like you guys are like really hard at work developing that ecosystem, and you mentioned partnerships and working with other people. we have each other in the DMs now, so you make sure that if you need anything from us or on our end or any help with anything, that we keep building upon that relationship, because again, we do think it's so important to all be working together and kind of just have a centralized space that we can talk about things and see what each other are doing, so that we can all be there to support and celebrate the success of each of these projects. So that's incredible, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, fantastic. And again, thanks for having us here. Really appreciate it.
Oh, it is truly our pleasure. Like it's just really good, and I just love talking to, all of the different people in the space that are building and doing interesting things, right? Because at the end of the day, those are the people that you're going to see come out of the other side of this, bear market that we're in, and just continue to build and innovate and just be leaders of the space. So I'm always excited to have the conversation with any and all parties. Locke. How about AIC? What are you guys working on right now, and what's been going on?
Yeah, for sure. We definitely have been in an interesting spot ever since the Gen 2 didn't go so well for us. But we're still pushing through right now. We're working on voting in a council of 8 members, so mostly Genesis members, so that we'll have a true voice in the community, spreading awareness. They'll have different branches between handling AMAs, project development, community development, all that good stuff to really get our name out there. And while that's going on, we are working on the staking contract for Gen 2, and we are working on the idle dashboard game, which will allow them to squad up, go on missions, RNG missions, and then earn a internal currency that they can then spend on the marketplace for whitelist, real life items, tickets to NFT NYC, things like that. And then we're also beefing up the alpha for our members to make some money on the side throughout the slow market. And then we also have our launch pad that we're slowly introducing, where we just take in members' projects that they have ideas for or is already in the works, and we use some of our resources to help them launch that, benefiting our community, giving them the whitelist spots for that project. And that's where we're at right now. Really working hard, got our heads down, trying to pump this out. The market's slow, so it's been very interesting. But yeah, that's what we got going on.
And I mean, that's what it's all about. And like as you said, the market is interesting. I mean, that's to say the least. But it's also ruthless, and it's the free mint meta, as fun as it is in some regards and whatnot, it really kind of has like shifted a narrative. But the fact that you are still showing up every single day, still putting your head down and working, while there's some short-term pain there, I mean, that's going to just speak volumes to the community that you guys have. And again, like, it's an incredible time to just keep working to continue building what you were building before, providing value to the community that you have. And you guys have done such a great job with that. I mean, the Artificial Intelligence Club and Star Wolvez, again, like a lot like Satoshi runners, if you were to make a Venn diagram, it is pretty much almost a circle there. And everything that I've seen in terms of the pack and the pack chat and the Genesis chat has been just like such strong love for the artificial intelligence community. And honestly, if that just keeps going throughout all of this, coming out the other end, I mean, it's gonna be a fantastic project like it always has been, and it'd be stronger than ever.
For sure. I definitely appreciate you having us up as well. It means a lot. Yeah, it's definitely got to get through this market, though. I'm sure we'll all be here at the end, and we can rejoice.
100%. But we'll absolutely keep the conversation going. In the meantime, we're always doing content sessions like this, and of course, as I said, we have that group DM going right now. And if you guys ever have something exciting that you want and you want some help with, like getting it out to the Star Wolves community or even just the communities of each other, I'm sure that we'll all be there for each other to spread the word and spread the love. Slide. It's been a while since I've got to you. I apologize. But yeah, let's talk about Wulfz. Let's. I know you mentioned at the beginning what you guys had going on, but what's the next little bit looking like, and what's the vibe in the community right now?
Yeah, for sure. So, like all you guys, I think the kind of issues, keeping people engaged, especially, when things are down. So we've kind of been doing that, like you guys said, kind of trying to get the whitelist spots on our marketplace just to kind of, keep people engaged. Because That's kind of the meta and what people want. So we've been doing that there. Also, we kind of have this animation segment on our hub, which we also call training. So kind of training for battle to fight the werewolf. So you can go there, and once you earn enough of your a Woo token, you can spend that, and then your Wolves metadata will update, and it'll be animated. So people have been having really fun with that. And then, yeah, we're kind of just building the lore behind this werewolves free mint, and really gonna start in the next week or two, trying to get other communities involved, like you guys. So it's not just going to be like a thing where you can only use the token to mint it. It's going to be a free mint, and we're going to try to involve different communities. So yeah, that's kind of what we got going on. Just kind of gearing up for that. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I appreciate you you sharing that with us and taking the time to be here for Terrestrial Thursday with us. I think I actually just saw you give off a howl in the Discord too. So love seeing that, and you know, can't wait to see all of you guys in the game. Make sure you log in and start, you know, duking it out with some other people too. It's actually a lot of fun, and it's been very competitive in there sometimes too. People get pretty heated. Ice, we're gonna finish it off with you, my friend. What is going on with Satoshi Runners? What's going on with you, and what are we looking at for the next little bit?
Yeah, sounds good. Well, what's going on with Satoshi runners? I like to think that the Satoshi runners, they really become one of the industry leaders in the whitelist marketplace sector of the Web3 space. While it's no secret that many projects are also adhering to this whitelist marketplace as a mainstay form of utility, I feel like we're also seeing many projects faltering, and they're unable to sustain these collabs, and they're unable to bring in the quality whitelist after a period of time. And I think that Satoshi runners, this is where we really stand out here. It's our traffic in the marketplace. Like, in addition to the novel utility and inventory that you are able to acquire, uh, in addition to these traditional marketplace whitelist spots, we are also offering tool subscription services, cross ecosystem token services, which ties into interoperability and scalability. We're also offering NFT purchases. And for those who attend our AMAs and events, you guys already know. We are also incorporating real-time auctions for some of these big ticket whitelist items and NFTs, which has actually become quite an exciting part of our holders weekly. They really look forward to it, and it can come at any time. It's not pre-planned, it's not announced, but when people say, "Oh, an AMA is happening," people get excited. People want to join just in case an auction does go down. They don't want to miss out. So these are the kind of exciting things that motivates us to keep on working harder. And I think one other part of Satoshi runners that makes us stand out here is that compared to the other marketplaces, I'm not going to name any names, but we're all familiar with the space at this point, right? We've done comparative market analysis research for many of these projects. And when it comes down to it, holding like Satoshi runners and accumulating our ecosystem tokens to acquire marketplaces, whitelist marketplaces, it's much more affordable for you to be in the SR ecosystem than some of the others. And I think that is really being underplayed right now. It's something that's very undervalued because Satoshi Runners gives access to hype projects at an arguably much more affordable price than some others, right? And I have the strongest of convictions that when the free mint meta finally rolls over and dies, and the bull market does return, the marketplace meta will also return. And that is when we will hopefully regain that marketplace spotlight that we've been trying so hard to get back. But hey, in the meantime, our holders are still picking up the hottest projects in the space. So whether it's for art that they really love and they want to hold to zero, or they're just synergizing their access to the whitelist with the alpha calls that they get in our servers to flip for profit. So if skipping the grind and access to information is what you're looking for, then Satoshi Runners just might be the project for you.
I love it. Yeah, always a pleasure talking with you, Slide. This was an incredible conversation. You know, it's so easy to host these events when I have like a great group of people up here that are just so knowledgeable and just building interesting things. I can prepare till I'm blue in the face, but honestly, the way that the conversation just kind of proceeds and just happens organically makes my life really, really easy. So, Lock, Slide, ice. I appreciate that so much. Sorry, the Pixel Tigers joining us up here too. I know it was super late, so I think he hopped off to head to bed. But it was just a great conversation. I'm going to be recording this. If you guys want to share it to your community, we'd be more than happy to do so. But please keep me updated with what you guys have going on. Let's keep that conversation happening internally about how we can all continue to work together, because it's not just about doing one space and just talking over and saying welcome. Like, we really want to continue building that relationship with you all, and we have a whole bunch of more projects that we're trying to do the same with. So on that note, I also want to give a huge special thank you to everyone that tuned into this Terrestrial Thursday. We appreciate your time and your energy and your love so much. If you are new to the idea of Star Wolvez and haven't checked us out yet, just hop in the Discord, come say hi. Our general chat isn't token gated, it's open for everyone, and that's because we want you guys to see how welcoming and how incredible the community is over there, and how much fun we're having with all of the stuff that we're doing. And if you end up picking up a Star Wolf because of it, that's fantastic too. But there's no, we're not going to token gate that and hide behind some walls. It's a great spot to be, and we're really excited to welcome as many new members in as possible. So on that note, I'm going to wrap up Terrestrial Thursday. Thank you so much again to all of the people that joined me up on stage, and thanks again to everybody that tuned in and listened to this. We love you all, and we'll see you in the Discord.
Yeah, thanks for hosting us once again, R2. It's always a pleasure to be here speaking with you guys.